Hi, I'm Michelle Pham, and I moved here 1.5 years ago. This is a wonderful, large-style, 2,000 square foot loft apartment in Manhattan. My parents were Vietnamese refugees. As such, our house was pretty eclectic and maximalist, but in an unintentional way. My mom had a lot of talents with sewing. Growing up, with her, I got used to a lot of making things, customizing things as you like, if you just take some time to design a vision out, right? It's definitely more work and more intensive, but you kind of get more bespoke things. And with my dad, he was always finding random stuff everywhere. Driving around town, he'd be like, hey, look, there's a kind of a cool item here, let's check it out. And when he came home, he would give it a second life. They're very resourceful. I get inspiration from them. And from designers, I love the designer India Madhavi. She's so colorful, vibrant, and plays with shape. Welcome to my bookshelf. I know a lot of people have opinions about color-coded books, but I feel like if you're reading, it shouldn't really matter that much. I love this set of books here. I got them from a New York store called Left Bank Books. These are very classic editions of the Bronte sister novels. I grew up reading these, watching all the BBC remakes of the novel with my mom, so it's kind of nostalgic to my childhood. I also have some art pieces here that I got quite some time ago in Saigon, Vietnam, where my family is from. They're made with such a beautiful technique. It's kind of an ode to family there. I found this on Facebook Marketplace. There is a woman whose husband had painted this and they just didn't have the need for it anymore, so I purchased it from them. And the cool thing is most Corinthian columns, Roman columns, Greek columns, etc., were colorful before. We usually see them now as a little bit more white ivory color, but that's just a result of time, erosion, weather. But before, they all used to be vibrant and fun. So if you ever buy one of these for your garden or home, don't be afraid to paint them with acrylic paint, because look how fun this is. It's just so exciting. And yes, there's monster plants behind me. They just get a lot of sun. This room is so hot. It's a greenhouse during the day. Welcome to the entryway area. Here below me is this amazing carpet that one of my girlfriends, Grace, brought back for me. I love the Moroccan carpets because they're made out of wool, and you can definitely feel the difference. You're stepping on it and it feels so plush and comfy. Plus there's beautiful pattern work woven into the rugs itself. I got this with my brother in Paris at a flea market, a treasure trove of antiques and unique pieces that you can find there. So I found this and I loved it. I took it out of its original frame because it would be easier to transport home that way. When I came back, I had it framed here and got some matching zebra pillows for it. I even have a zebra tray, zebra ashtray. No one smokes here, but I thought it was cute. Welcome to my little sculptures. When I moved here, a lot of furniture gets delivered with these cardboard tubes. I just wanted to do something fun with them, so I had electrical tape. I bought it from Amazon and I just wrapped it around in different colors. And then I went to the hardware store and I got these socket protectors or wall plugs, and I just put them in to keep it as a stable base. And here, one of my girlfriends, Grace Zhang, who also bought me this carpet from Morocco, she illustrated this for me. She's a children's book author based in Brooklyn, New York. She was one of the New York Times and the New York Public Library Best Children's Author of the Year in 2022. So I'm honored to have one of her works in my house. She's a very good friend of mine, and I love seeing her art career just flourish in New York and beyond. So I feel like this area really encapsulates the eclectic nature of my brain in the home sometimes. This console here was a custom piece that someone had ordered but rejected because there were a few scratches on it. So lucky me, I went there, picked it off the floor at a steal, and these guys, these little guinea hen, guinea fowls, were quite a story. My partner and I were going to a wedding in the south of France, and I had always wanted these guys. They're made in a small town called, I think, Lausanne, and it was just way off from our path. Then randomly in this small town, I found a reseller selling these, and so I I can't fit 20 of them in my suitcase. So I just decided to get 2 of them, and they're really cute and a little quirky. This is, a cool little candy piece. I feel like a little grandma because I have like lots of like Werther's Originals in here. Just remind me of, I feel like a lot of us when we grow up, we're just kind of designing, based on like what your inner child might sometimes have wanted, right? And I think for me, I don't know what this says about me. Maybe I was a grandma as a child, I'm not sure. I always feel like this is my independence picture. The reason being, I have a great boyfriend now. I love him so much, he's great. And the boyfriend I dated a few years ago, I had seen this picture with him and he said I would never live in a home with it. So there's my boyfriend now who lives in this home with me with this picture. So whenever I look at it, I always try to remember, don't let other people set the standard for how you should live. I think everyone has their own flavor in life and should be free to be as they are, right? I think that's the most beautiful thing in life is when you come as you are. So look at this and I say, I love it. Here we are now in my home with this picture in it. I have 2 different types of dining chairs here. I've got these cool rattan S-shaped ones. They're really fun and kind of remind me of like a beachy area. I got these 2 red chairs from the Design Within Reach outlet. And it was, easy. I picked it off the floor and it was at my home in the same day. And these are kind of fun. They're really unique pendant lights. And one big feature that I appreciated, kind of a post-COVID result, is these portable lamps that you see at every restaurant. I love these because they add a little bit of light at nighttime when you're having a chat with friends or if you just want to be checking your mail at night. This is definitely the definition of dopamine decor. When you look at this, you can't help but feel happy. I just get this shock of color into my brain. It makes me pretty lighthearted and feeling a little bit more jovial. This is actually made by a group called the Otomi Women in a part of Mexico called Tenango de Doria. And so it takes a very long time to actually hand embroider these pieces. The interesting story is that I think around the 1970s, they had a huge drought in that area. And in order to support their families, a lot of these women started to do embroidery. And at first it was on clothes and dresses, but then they started making these tapestries, and these tapestries were a lot more commercially successful, so they continued to do it. This is from La Ciudadela. It's an artisanal marketplace in Mexico City. You can find all sorts of things there. I think that textile arts are definitely underappreciated in the art world, but I think it's a great way of, telling stories, capturing history, and also like preserving culture. I hope that whoever made this knows that it's in a great home now, because I appreciate what she did every day. People don't realize that, there's a lot of talent to doing this, but I guess if the people are not incentivized properly to keep creating this, it's going to be a dying art. It's hard to think of one conversation that I've really enjoyed having in this room, but one memory that I love, replaying over in my mind is when friends come here and the night just goes on. It's just conversation, you're laughing, you're playing games with each other, you're roasting one another, and that's the feeling that I think is really important to capture in a home, right? We often see very glossy, beautiful homes that many of us aspire to, but I think when you dissect what the feeling is of a home, it's a place where you find refuge, where you find sanctuary, where you find peace, but it's also a place where people that you love come into your space and share it with you, right? And I think we're very lucky to have this amount of space, and so as often as we can, we try to have family, friends, people who are interested to come by and check out the place, It's definitely a place that I just want people to feel comfortable in. So if you're still here at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and we're still pouring the wine, and there's still something to talk about, that to me is like the perfect conversation or memory that I like to share with friends in this home.